Hey, everybody, it's Drew Scooter. This is office hours. What is 3/3/2024? Hope everybody's well. Few updates. I'm going to try to check the questions. Are kind of all over the place as we transition to kind of long-term future of Sleep With Me. But if you're watching this on Patreon or you're still a Patreon member and you haven't moved over to Sleep With Me Plus, we are going to stop uploading stuff to Patreon at the end of the month. If you could get moved over, or if you're having any kind of issue, and you've tried to follow the steps, or this is new, like you haven't been following the posts we've been doing, or we've been putting them in the podcast feed, we've been emailing them out, we've been messaging them out, but if somehow we missed you, just scroll down 3 posts and there's all the posts that are about our move. They also all have 2 emails, the tech support team and feedback team. So if you're having any issues like or any questions at all, please let us know by one of those 2 emails. Because there's just no way for us to know. We would love to help you and answer any questions. But yeah, please get moved over. Just like where are things at? It kind of looks like this is going to be a new. I knew this was going to be a new phase of Sleep With Me. This is kind of like different than what I expected. But right now we're at about 50% on Sleep With Me Plus of what we need to make the show as we've been making it the last few years. We got about 25% of people that are still on Patreon, maybe a little bit less than that. And we probably in a good way, and I kind of explain this quick, lost about 25% of our support. But a lot of that was people that just had stopped listening to the show, but were supporting it because they got so much out of it, or people that maybe were like a little bit less engaged with the show or changed their priorities. And that's kind of a good thing. Like catharsis is really hard, but catharsis with Sleep With Me and anything else is really important. Like having kind of like clearing stuff up, and then people can that 25% of people, of that percentage of people that are still listening to the show, they can reassess and decide, hey, maybe we want to support the show on Sleep With Me Plus, maybe we want to support the sponsors, or maybe we'll just enjoy the ad-supported version of the show. But that's kind of where we're at. And once we see at the end of this month where we're at, I'll kind of know, I'll have a better idea where things are at for our budgets. And the people that are using Sleep With Me Plus, it's very exciting, and it's been great. And we have had new people coming in because of people that wanted to listen on Spotify, people that wanted the more flexibility that the new platform offers. So I think what we'll do is we're going to kind of see what this new phase of Sleep With Me is, and then we'll go through subscriber summer, and then we'll see on the end of subscriber summer where things are at for So it's exciting. All right, let me see. We got 2 sets of questions that are here. We're here waiting for me on YouTube. Gray Belt. Figured we'd fall asleep. 8 hours of Sleep With Me on the Kindle. New episodes every week. Fall asleep before the story start. All right, great. And they love the show. Lady Steele said, where are the OG episodes like Snowy Woods or Boardroom ones? Earlier episodes, we haven't really changed anything, Lady Steele. We've always, we have changed things in a positive way over the past 2 years. It used to be for a long time, there's only 200 episodes in the ad-supported archives. We've expanded that to 600 or 601 episodes. So in the ad-supported version of the show, it goes back 600. On YouTube, YouTube is a much different platform. It's not a podcast platform, though they're making it into one. So with YouTube, there's only recent episodes. Just there was a lot of clutter, and we had to delete a lot of stuff from YouTube because it was triggering different. It was confusing the YouTube. We had to delete a ton of videos off of YouTube, audio videos. So they're not on YouTube. But on Patreon, we're closing down our Patreon at the end of the month. But yeah, if you're on Sleep With Me Plus, just like on Patreon, Sleep With Me Plus has the same content. It's just organized. So those are organized, and yeah, you could find, if you're a Boar bestie or Boar friend, you have access back to episode 2, just like on Patreon. And if you're a Boar bud, you have access back to episode 400, just like on Patreon. Professor Q's College of Books said this is the second to last office hours on Patreon, Professor Q, but we'll be doing these office hours on Sleep With Me Plus, just like we always have been. Yeah, and we'll still post these videos. All right, those are all the questions in. Check back on YouTube. Oh, now the video is playing over here. Let me just make sure nobody posted any questions here. Nothing yet. There's Scoots talking. Okay, I know there was a couple other questions that popped up. Jennifer asks, where are you on the internet? I'm not sure I understand what that question means, Jennifer. Looks like you're still a Patreon, but you don't have a tier. I'm not sure I understand what that question is. The best place. Trying to just put myself in. What does that question mean? Maybe. Like the best place to stay in touch is the Discord. If you're a member of Sleep With Me Plus, that's where a lot of interaction goes. I mean, we have our social media stuff, but that's, just kind of social media, and then the podcast. So any podcast app. Beyond that, we've been doing whatever, our Wednesday Wonder answering questions. But yeah, join if you're paying for the show. It looks like you haven't. I don't know if you have moved. I'd get moved over to Sleep With Me Plus and cancel your Patreon account. But either way, you'd have. It looks like you don't have a tier. So I'd reach out for support. Or reach out using the email posts on there for any questions. All right, let me see what else. There's one other question on Patreon. Okay, yeah, this is kind of Laura was saying, I'm not sure if I moved over or not, but I tried, but I can't tell. I don't know, Laura. Like I kind of said, the best thing to do is email us, because then I can look up your email and see if you moved over or not. But if you followed the steps, it's like 4-step process in those posts. You probably moved over. If you paid for Sleep With Me Plus, and then you set up all your Sleep With Me Plus podcasts, and you're listening to those in your podcast app, you're definitely set up. If you haven't set up your Sleep With Me Plus podcast in your podcast app, you might be moved over. I don't know. So just reach out using the email and the Patreon post, or you could even message us on Patreon. Yeah. Okay. So there's those questions. Okay. I'm going to pop over to Discord next. Looks like Charlotte kind of posted a question, which is I don't know the answer to. After Patreon shuts down, wonder what will happen to all the content on the Patreon site, like the tutorials, videos, etc. I don't know, Charlotte. So all of our audio content, as Charlotte knows, got moved over to Sleep With Me Plus. Sleep With Me Plus has the exact same bonus content as it was on Patreon. It was moved over. So it's the same content. It's just much better organized. But all the other stuff on Patreon, I'm not sure. We've turned off the Patreon for new patrons. We're going to stop uploading. But I don't have any other answers than that, because I really did not know. There's a part of me that's like, I didn't think we'd be at 25% of people still on Patreon. So we'll have to see at the end of the month. There are some people that are going to stay on Patreon that I've heard from and spoken to directly, because they're annual patrons, and they're going to wait, just because of the way the credits work. They want to wait till closer to the end of their annual patronage. But yeah, I don't have any other plans. Yeah, Charlotte kind of answered Lady Steel. Yeah, ad-free main feed, Boredom Institute seminar and Snowy Woods meditation. You could search for meditation in your podcast app. Let's see. Professor Q on YouTube said, thanks for all the work on Sleep With Me Plus, digging the new styles of feeds, and being able to use Spotify. Yeah, it brings up an interesting thing with Spotify. Like, I've been playing around with it. I think the cool thing about Spotify is like, you can make Sleep With Me Plus playlists that are shareable with other Sleep With Me Plus listeners. Anybody you can share the playlist with anybody, but then only Sleep With Me Plus listeners can access because they'll be locked, which I think is a really cool feature. That said, it is a little bit different listening on a music app than a podcast app. And I always recommend doing both. Like I have podcasts I listen to on Spotify, but I definitely recommend having a podcast app. Oh yeah, Koa. For just the Sleep With Me Plus stuff, whether that's Overcast, Pocket Casts, Podcast Addict, or some other kind of podcast app. There's a lot of great free podcast apps because it kind of allows you, like Charlotte just mentioned, you want an app that allows you to share search in the podcast feed. I'm not even sure I've tried that on Spotify, but that way, if you're searching in the ad-free feed, as Charlotte pointed out, for meditation, you'll get a list of meditation episodes, then you can build your podcast from there. Yeah, and Professor Q likes being able to create custom playlists on Spotify. Let's see. I don't have any other questions. If you're watching the video, post in the chat. Let me refresh this page. I might answer some Wednesday Wonder. I saw a Wednesday Wonder question recently. Okay, that's me live. Oh, you know what I like? Okay, this actually goes into the Wednesday Wonder question. So let me get back to YouTube. So there's a question that came up on Wednesday Wonder that I haven't answered yet that I saw. I don't know who asked it or where it was. It's just in my head. Is hey, do you think, are you worried that Sleep With Me will run out of ideas or something similar to that? And that's why the show will stop. And my answer, it's just funny because my answer to that is definitely like Sleep With Me if Sleep With Me stops, it won't be from lack of ideas at this point. And that's not like right now I have more ideas than budget and time to make the show. So I definitely have enough for at least a few more years of making multiple episodes a week, including we've written up pitches for spreading Sleep With Me out a little bit more, but we can't do that without spreading ourselves thin. So, I mean, we have some ideas for just building on what we're already doing, or styles of episodes that are popular. But yeah, I think if Sleep With Me were to stop in the next few years, it would just be from lack of being able to keep the show just isn't sustainable anymore, or it drastically gets cut back because it's not as sustainable, and so I decide to work on something, keep things sustainable for me personally, another, I don't know what else I would work on, but something else, to supplement things. So I don't think Sleep With Me will stop from lack of ideas, at least initially. And we'll see, we'll see. The podcast industry is really weird right now. I'm glad that I didn't sell the show to a company for a bunch of dough, because I might be laid off from my own show at this point, the way things are looking in podcasting. And we don't have any outside funding, so we really aren't beholden to anybody. So we're in a good place to weather this unknown time. But lack of ideas, that was the question. So we just came up with a new style of Sleep With Me show. It's kind of similar to a style of the show that we haven't done before because we kind of ran out of ideas for it. And I recorded the episode this week. I am going to try to get it released. Let me see. get the board here. Do a little more behind the scenes while we're here, but I don't have my. Yeah, where was that going to be though? Here, right? Is that really where it is? I don't think so. I guess maybe. So, and there's already so I came up like so that's where the ideas they just come as long as I'm like working. So like we're about to switch starting in so we're on a positive new verge of this Future of Sleep with Me 2 starting in April, but for people that are paying it'll be a little bit earlier than that, maybe the beginning, it'll still be in April. We're going to introduce a fourth style of Sleep With Me show that will come out on a regular basis, moving from a 3-style show, at least seasonally, to a 4-style show, a 4-episode rotation of styles of shows. That's been something we've been working on for almost 2 years, and is something that hopefully Sleep With Me Plus will be something that could cover the cost of doing that. But yeah, starting in April, we're going to be doing, typically we had a 3-style episode rotation, which was, and let me explain that, because sometimes I get, I guess like I try to communicate this a few times a year, but like, so the show has a 3-style episode rotation, means every episode we rotate the style of show. And currently, for the history of Sleep With Me, it's been 3 different styles of episodes. I call them Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday style shows from way back in the day when we put out 3 episodes a week. But there's TV recap style shows. Those are shows where we put a lot of research in and recap TV shows or other stuff. There are Trending Tuesday style shows, which are potpourri or random style shows. Those episodes could be about anything. They could be fictional, they could be personal essays, it could be cooking, on location, Ray, like part of a smaller series, so like Ray or stuff like that. There's a lot, it could be anything. They used to be called Trending Tuesday style shows, which is a whole nother tangent, but and then we have Thursday style shows, which none of those come out on Sunday, Thursday, Tuesday. So I realize how confusing that is. But those are written episodes, part of a series. So currently, we just launched our new series, Multiplex, and we just before Multiplex, we finished up our series that came before Multiplex, which would have been, I have no idea because I'm working on episode 7 of Multiplex. What came before Multiplex? Oh, Journey into World of Friends. So yeah, like that was like, so those episodes. So it goes to, well, technically in my mind, it always goes random potpourri Tuesday style episode, Thursday, because written episode, TV recap episode. Starting in April, we're going to have a 4th thing in that rotation. I'm not sure the exact rhythm yet, but it's going to be a fictional audio fiction podcast reinvented in this that's already exists in the world, reinvented in the style of Sleep With Me. We've already done 1 episode with this podcast. It is not a sleep podcast, but we've done a lot of crossover stuff over the years. And this is one I'm excited. And ideally, we're going to do 3 seasons over the next, I don't know when, like, again, this is unknown territory. This also falls into like, what is sustainable? Like the idea that I'm able to, I mean, it does come at a cost, obviously, like this comes with compensation for the people that created the show. But like we're taking their writing basically and their audio fiction and reimagining it or, redoing it in a style Sleep With Me. So that kind of makes them kind of like it's kind of like a movie option, but like the story is already there. So it's like an incredible, and the characters already exist. So it's like, those are kind of keys to making an episode of Sleep With Me is a richness. And so this already has the richness because of the creators of the show. I'm teasing it out. I don't know if I want to announce it right yet, though. If you're like deep dive, you probably already know. But so like when you think about like how could I keep making Sleep With Me, or would we run out of ideas? Like, this is another thing that makes Sleep With Me more sustainable, if we could sustain it, I guess is the funny thing. But like having that like story that I don't have to come up with, but without taking anything away, because everything in the show is interdependent. Like the TV recap episodes, whatever works for them depends on the random episode, the skills that are used in the random episodes and the writing episodes. The writing episodes depend on the everything is interconnected with Sleep With Me, and like the structure is built, like everything isn't like interconnected, I guess. Like, so this is something we're adding to interconnection without messing with the connections. Like I guess in a structural sense, it's like a whole nother like layer to the superstructure. So this should be cool. I'm really excited. That starts in April. Yeah, this is like, I think I shared a video. This is like kind of a sketch of like what we have recorded, what we need, potential scheduling ideas through the end of May. Yeah. Oh, but so then the other thing was that came up this week is like a whole nother style of Tuesday. So random for the random episodes, a whole nother subgenre of episodes, kind of like board game unboxing or whatever. This one's different though. So came out of something that was in the news, which was actually ended up being very viral. Not in a negative. Well, like it was about a ticketed event, an immersive experience. And I was like, oh, this is so interesting. It was an unsuccessful immersive experience that people bought tickets for. And the artwork and the experience were not aligned. And so people were not, that paid for their tickets were not pleased. And it got me thinking like, could this be an episode of Sleep With Me? What would it be? And then I was like, oh wow, like this could be really cool. And then I actually like was talking to somebody else that makes stuff and asking them and joking around with them. And then from that like came at least two other episodes. Like definitely two other episodes. One that, so we already have one recorded based on what happened that drove this viral news. And it's done, and it was really fun. Well, it's not done. The episode's recorded. The intro and the thank yous are not recorded. And then we'll get that recorded. But it really, like, I'm not even sure where the narrator came from, but similar in feel to the mall walking episodes. And similar in maybe I haven't listened to those in a while, but we just ran out of gas with like, how many mall walking episodes could you do? Without it like where it was a new place that wasn't a mall. And so this one opens up a whole nother doorway because it was kind of like an audio experience while you're in line for this we'll just say subpar immersive experience. And then it's like, oh, what else could be what other cool things would someone sell tickets to for a subpar? So it's just a little fun. This is the kind of fun things that makes making Sleep With Me fun. And this one was really fun because it was like trying to have fun with something that I don't know what the second and third episodes will be like because but it was fun to make. So we'll see how that goes. I think that's it. Let me just check. Anybody there's like a couple people watching on YouTube now. If you have any questions, looks like there's a notification. Let's see what that is. Okay. The person canceled their membership. Okay. So I don't know if that's related to, but yeah, so is that one of the questions? I don't know. Those two were two different questions. Okay, so no other questions. I think that's it. I'm going to go record an intro for the this new episode. All right. I hope everybody's enjoying your day. Thanks for supporting the show or asking questions or checking it out. Also, if you're on Sleep With Me Plus, let me know if you got a notification about it, because I tried to send out an email. Let me just take a look here. Some of this stuff's new to me. Posts. Did the post. Oh, it didn't get emailed out, so I clicked the wrong button. Okay, well, so it's posted, but I didn't send out an email. So that's probably why. Okay, well, if you saw the post, let me know. Next time I'll send out an email. This is also kind of like, main thing is we're going to do one more office hour on Patreon. I don't think, if you're still watching this, like you already heard, like, but yeah, thanks everybody for the support, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, or tonight. Good night, everybody.